loves you. I can be your tag, 'cause I love my tattoos. I wanna feel your skin as close as we can do. So sex, like a crime, big time. So sex, make you mine, showtime. So sex, let's go man on cloud nine. So sex, you'll feel a lot by my side. So sex, so sex, so sex, so sex. Your sweet combine with mine. Take me in from behind. Got a pussy that blows your mind. So sex, so sex. Your sweet combine with mine. Take me in from behind. Got a pussy that blows your mind. So sex, so sex, so sex, so I'm so grown and he likes it. Keeps me giving almost all of it. He's been saying all types of shit. Makes me wanna dance right in front of him. He's so nice that I'm willing to do all the things I wouldn't normally do. He's so nice, yeah, he got me on my vibe shit. Makes me wanna climb it. Yeah, I think I really love this thing a little much. I think I really love this thing a little much. I think you really want me to be some more. And I know. Strong, he can lift me. Flying real high, got my stress relief. Breaking every single bone and I'm loving it. Waking up sweaty, laying next to him. He's so nice that I'm willing to do all the things I wouldn't normally do. He's so nice, yeah, he got me on my vibe shit. Makes me wanna climb it. Yeah, I think I really love this thing a little much. I think I really love this thing a little much. I think you really want me to be some more. And I know, I know. I love you, I love you. I need you, I need you. So don't rush, don't rush, don't I just wanna feel ya, I just wanna breathe ya. Laying with your body, turn the lights up, can I do that? I just wanna feel ya, I just wanna breathe ya. Laying with your body, turn the lights up, can I do that? I just wanna feel ya, I just wanna breathe ya. Laying with your body, turn the lights up, can I do that? I just wanna feel ya, I just wanna breathe ya. Laying with your body, turn the lights up. Oh, slow, oh, oh. I love you, I love you. I need you, I need you. So don't rush, don't rush, don't rush. what you want now, 'cause you're the kind that gets what you want. So now you're giving me free reasons I should get free, but I can't get no sleep through all the fantasies. Getting used to this high, 'cause fucked up is my new summer. I'm always on my game till the moment I freeze. You got me frozen, colder than ice. Bet you'll love me, tell another lie. Frozen, 3:45. Hit me with the text in the middle of the night. Frozen, 0 below. I could die tonight when I'm way out of my zone. You got me frozen, heading to the tone. Bound to happen when you love these hoes. At my place if you want. We can speed up with the pace if you want. I ain't never hit the chase, but it's soon. You gon' put me in my place before long. So now you're giving me free reasons I should get free, but I can't get no sleep through all the fantasies. Getting used to this high, 'cause fucked up is my new summer. I'm always on my game till the moment I freeze. You got me frozen.
Just wanna take a dip into your swimming pool. So listen to me close, I'll tell you real slow. My number one rule is to go with the flow. My number one rule is to go with the flow. And my number two rule is don't fuck up the flow. I could be your baseline, you could be my dry eye. get shocked if I need though. I see how you flex taking photos. You lost my respect making no show. So basic, it's sad you need promo. Not everyone blast like this whole bro. You think you could fuck with this body? You think I'm impressed by our money? You wanna be Clyde till my Bonnie, but all I'm about is the honey. Basic, basic. Chasing the clouds, you an easy knockout. Basic, basic. Honest, no doubt, I'm all you think about. Yeah. Basic, 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 basic. Chasing the clouds, you an easy knockout. I be out here sipping Hennessy. Boy, you got nothing to say to me. You ain't a friend, you an enemy. Hanging around with that bushy weed on. Smoke that shit elsewhere you wanna be. Reeking of that creepy energy. I'm thinking, where is your identity? A low life with no life, a parody. Won't let you fuck up my legacy. Your style is so shit, you a felony. So take a step back, there's no chemistry, or you will get shot just like Kennedy. I go hard like a tsunami. I'm pretty, I'm bitchy, I'm shiny. So back the fuck off, you a copy. I only fuck around with the money, money. Basic, you're a basic. Basic, you're a basic. Basic, you're a basic. Chasing the cloud, you an easy knockout. Basic, 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 basic. Chasing the cloud, you an easy knockout.
Wow, that was pretty awesome. Those are some fire tracks we just listened to, y'all. All right, y'all. Welcome to this edition of the live art stream in the Whale Discord. As you already know, I'm Sho. I'm always talking. I'm always loud. You know, all caps, all day. You know how it is. And I'm really excited about this artist that we invited to share his artwork and music with us. Um, as you already know, a lot of the artists that come to the Whale Discord are really innovative. Um, they always have incredible ideas. They're always pushing everything forward, and it's always great to see how they grow and how they move from one step to another one. And I think that this guy is gonna make some pretty strong inroads when it comes to that right here. Um, before I say his name, though, everyone in the Stream Text channel, especially new members, please refrain from spamming with gifs. Let's have like some serious convos about the art and music that we're gonna listen to, and let's enjoy what's about to happen. Yeah. So let me please introduce Harrison first.
All right, dope, man. So first, I want to say thank you guys for even allowing me to be on. Carlos first told me about this Discord channel and just the great things that Well is doing, and then as soon as I learned about it, I said, "Hell yeah, I'm trying to get in and talk to the people, man, wherever I can." So my name is Harrison first. My real name is Olaniwaju Harrison Odunlami. So I'm Nigerian American, originally from Pennsauken, New Jersey. Moved out to New York City, and then now I currently moved to Stockholm, Sweden. So a little bit of like about me musically. I started out as just a producer, just making beats. And I think my big break, or where I started to catch steam, is when I moved to New York. And that's when I was working with one of the artists that you played, Teflon Sega. And I was just strictly producing a lot of his music. And building his sound to what it is now. And then another artist in New York I was working with was St. John, who also now is like pretty big artist at the moment, had like a #2 record on the Billboard charts, Roses, the remix. And then I think my big break was kind of doing producing the song for those two, which was really dope, called Beretta Lake. And I think shortly after, wanted to kind of do my own thing a little bit. So I became Harrison first, and that's when I started having my own producer artist projects, where I was featuring other artists on my records that I produced and I might have co-written, and I started putting them out, whether I was putting them out under my label or like a collective, or just licensing the songs or singles to other labels, and they were putting it out. So I think that was probably the best decision I made. So currently, I work super closely with my music collaborator Angie, where I produce pretty much all the work, and she writes everything, and we put out these dope projects together. Still working a lot with Teflon Sega, featuring new artists on my records, and then just continuously doing that, man. So if you like the music that you were playing, if people were wondering like, damn, well, where's Harrison first? Like, there's a girl singing. It's because I'm a producer artist and a DJ. So I'm not the actual vocal artist, but like a Diplo or those type of producer artists.
Yeah, I was actually gonna deep dive into that particular aspect right there. But that's pretty awesome. I mean, obviously, I'm a little bit biased because I'm from the East Coast too. So I'm already kind of rooting for you, you know. Also, yeah. But aside from that, though, what attracted you to Stockholm? Though I'm curious, what's the creative climate like out there as opposed to over here on the East Coast?
Well, I love New York. New York is, to me, is the best city in the world. Um, but I also was able to appreciate now Stockholm or Sweden a little bit more better. So pretty much what brought me out here was just it was opportunities to come out to Sweden, and whether or not I could try to grow something. Things weren't working out too well for me in New York, to be honest. But it was like such a blessing. I pretty much go back and forth from New York and Stockholm. But I would say the biggest difference with Sweden and in yeah, Sweden as a whole and New York is that quality is extremely important. Um, man, like when people say they do something, it's they really do that thing. Whether it's they are in tech or they're in music, they're in any of the arts, they're actually like really good at it. And New York has the most raw, talented people in the world go there, and the world is in New York. But I would say the biggest difference is that sometimes you miss. There's a miss when it comes to quality and maybe oversaturation of things. So that's the biggest difference. I mean, you have Spotify here. You have some of the founders of Sound that's from here. You have big companies like Skanska. You have H&M. So it's like a small country, but I mean, they have a global impact with some of these cool cultural companies, and you can see that in the people creatively too.
Yeah, I kind of noticed that too. That it feels like there's a lot more time to dedicate to the art, so you're able to dedicate more time. So that's a kind of dope way of looking at that, especially out there, is what I mean. Um, what's the inspiration behind your aesthetic? Like there's a ton of different feels that I get from your videos. It's pretty cool. A lot of introspection, but there's like a lot of power too. Like I feel it when I listen to it. There's tons of colors and vibes. So like, what are like the sources that you're pulling from?
And I think the switch turned like last year or 2 years ago, where I was just thinking like, as a music artist, you really have to have everything click almost at the same time so that people can understand it. And it can't be something too crazy because it would be hard to understand. But then there's that niche type of people that they do want something complicated or something like a riddle so that they can, play with it and take their time with it, like a puzzle. But aesthetically, I think I came to a point now where I wanted things to feel like a movie. Wanted it to feel like a movie. I wanted it to feel like an event. I'm trying to step up my game when it comes to like wardrobe and clothes. And then if you look at the video Bam Bam, and if you also look at the video Basic, I mean, there's a message there. There's a message there, but I would say that it's more aesthetically pleasing. And I'm pulling references from, like, to be honest with you, European creators and directors that we use. I made it a point. I wanted to shoot it with a black director. This young director from he's from Congo, he's here in Sweden. 24 years old, like super dope, man. Like and he makes short films. So I specifically wanted to go for him because I wanted, some of that feel in the music video. Music video Bam Bam that me and Angie shot. That was directed by a young artist named Chris. He's in the southern part of Sweden. He also shoots a lot of dope short films. He's in movie festivals. So we wanted to get those types of people. And then if you that one song that you played, "Talk to Me Nice," where I'm just in it, and you hear Angie's vocals. That was a song that we did. Like, my friend came from New York. He flew out here. He did a couple sessions with me. Apartment. It was me, her fiance, and my boy Wala, and we were just sitting around the table, drinking wine, just having a good time. We were like, "Yo, let's do one more song," and we were literally just yelling out stuff for that last song. So I said, "Yo, for the video, I want this video to feel really like, I want it to feel like, do it yourself type of vibe." So I got a 15-year-old boy, just a young guy, man. I seen some of his work on Instagram. And I hit him up, and he hit me back, and I was like, "Bro, I would love to give you an opportunity to shoot a video, for me and Angie," and we did. We did something just cool, creative, simple. So I think the vibes, man, is like, I'm trying to go for more of a movie feel. I'm also trying to go for, like, I want different eyes behind the lens when it comes to shooting videos, whether it's young kids, whether it's females, whether it's minorities. That's what I want, because it's just adding diversity to a look and a feel can give you something different. But yeah, bro, and I think I'm just starting to get more comfortable with me, like, not caring really. Like, I almost did something, like, if you look in basic, I'm over here with like a cowboy hat with no shirt on, some bedazzles on the cowboy hat, and I was like, I don't care, I'm gonna just do it anyway. There, man. Vibe, man. I'm just going for vibes.
Yeah, it's crazy that you actually mentioned that, because watching a lot of your videos on YouTube, I noticed that it did have a very cinematic feel to it, which is cool. Like the whale community, they hear my voice all the time. They know how I feel when it comes to, like, a lot of art pieces that across different platforms. They know that I really love, like, detail and, like, gritty, raw, like, introspective types of pieces, regardless of whether or not it's music or artwork or things like that. So they know kind of where I stand on this. But I really like the drama that's associated with some of your tracks, though. A lot of the pieces that you've produced, I really get, like, a feel of like this fire blend of, like, an introspective Sango with, like, a less self-important Lana Del Rey. Well, that's like Angie's voice. Her vocals on your tracks kind of feel like that, along with, like, a grittier Tame Impala, or, like, a more concise or sober use of, like, 808s with Travis Scott, which is kind of cool too. So that has that more East Coast feel to it. You could tell me if I'm, like, ringing true, if I'm hot and cold. You could tell me if I'm wrong on, like, Lana Del Rey, but, like, popping on, like, Travis Scott too. It's cool.
Right. The stuff I do with Angie, it is kind of that, and I would say that I try to pull it out of that production wise, but the feel is just there. I mean, Angie is influenced by Lana Del Rey, but she's different. Like, she's still different, but it is like there are some references, and we do pull some inspiration there. I mean, it's kind of hard to avoid that because she is a fan of her, and I'm actually a super of Lana Del Rey, so.
Yeah.
That's there. And then I think because, to be honest with you, I've came from, like, the urban world. Like, all the stuff I was doing when I started, I was like trap, alternative R&B. I
Yeah.
would be like alternative R&B playlists on Spotify and all that good stuff. And then once I left and I came to Sweden, I was like, I don't know. I just, like, kind of ventured out, and I kind of went with what was presented to me. And I think that's where God was just kind of like saying, just go, and then just do it. So I found ways to, like, just blend kind of like my elements that I'm used to using, and then just blending it with, like, Angie's sound. It's like this was the biggest blessing for me, to be honest with you. Like, before working with Angie, like, I was working on music that was, doing pretty well, streaming pretty well. I mean, the first one I produced with Teflon Sega and St. John is currently like at 10 million streams on Spotify. And then
Wow.
that one's pretty good. And then a lot of this stuff for Teflon is like over millions of streams on Spotify. But came to a realization, like I was like, oh man, this is great, and I love helping other people build their sound. But I was like, I want to build something for myself. And then I was putting out stuff, and results weren't as good as I thought they would be. Like my first one, I think I got a bit spoiled because I put out a song, just me. It is like at 1.4 million streams now on Spotify. It's called Faded, my very first song. And then after that, I kept missing. And I was like, damn, like what is going on? I need like a lot of help. And things weren't like things. I was making some cool songs and putting out some cool songs. People were not really listening, to be honest with you. So I would still, produce for the other artists that I was working with. Then when I found Angie, it was like crazy because her fans are amazing. Like when you really like think Angie, I don't want to just only talk about Angie, but I mean it's just like it's the truth what I'm saying. Like Angie, she has a cool fan base on her Instagram. It's not like super large, but it's like I think it's around like 32,000 followers on Instagram. And but the things that actually matter is like her YouTube subscriptions are like at 126,000, and then her Spotify is about like around 100 and something like Spotify followers. So when we put out our first song together, Bam Bam, that was like our first session, our first song. Literally, she said yes to me in regards to doing a session. I had someone cancel a session that I was doing. And then I just DM'd her one day and I said, yo, someone just canceled a session. Do you mind coming and working with me? Never met her. She came. We created this song, Bam Bam. And then about 6 months later, it hit 1 million streams. And I was just like, yo, I'm back. I did it again,
Yeah.
without a label. Well, I was never signed, but what I would do was like licensing agreements to like these like YouTube labels, like Majestic Casual and Suicide Sheep. These kind of like low key labels, but they have like similar to you guys, like a crazy fan base that they built from scratch, so they're able to like license records. So once we
Yes.
put out Bam Bam, yeah. What was that?
Oh, sorry about that. I didn't mean to cut you off. I was just gonna add a quick side note that Majestic Casual isn't actually low key. Majestic Casual is like massive on YouTube. Like people, they build out their entire like playlists off of Majestic Casual. So that's a big deal. You should be proud of that. Definitely.
Well, thanks. Yeah, man, you're making me smile, man. Come on, man. But
No,
yeah,
but it's real. This is the truth.
they are amazing, and like I said, similar to you guys, and this is where I feel like everything is going early. Like just the casual turn themselves into a label, spinning records turn themselves into a label. Trap Nation, all those guys had to turn themselves into a label, and the way that they did it is by directly touching people through like is that directly touching people with things that they wanted to be touched by. So they built these like playlists, perfectly curated playlists on YouTube. Then they branch it off to Spotify. Then it's wherever else it lives at. But it's like real people. Some people do a little like, tricky things to get their subscriptions, but then the organic traction just starts rolling in. And once they've had that, once they have like real people and real eyes and like people who go crazy over their playlists, it's like, why not start a label? So I really do. Also, I do give credit to like signing records to Majestic Casual, Suicide Sheep, and those guys. But yeah, but the stuff with Angie, it's just dope. And to be honest with you, this is why I think there's. And please tell me if I'm rambling, but like this is why I'm excited to combine now like my social money, which is also a super new world for me, and also my music, and then my brand, because it's like I'm so interested in seeing like what will happen when I release a record and let's say the record is like extremely successful and it does well, and maybe it's charting, or you see that my Spotify monthly listeners go from like 65,000 a month to 100,000 to 200,000, maybe 500,000. Does that directly impact the value of my social coin first? That's like one theory. Or does the value go lower when my streams go lower, or does it go higher with like different drops, or just like the different the value I bring to the community and my chats and my all these things. So that's why I'm just like I just jumped into this when I heard about this, and I was like, let me just let's see, man. I think I can add value to people's lives, and I think that there's a whole bunch of people that can add to to what I'm doing. So, man, I want to see these two worlds can coincide, and like there's like a parallel universe for them.
Yeah, I agree. I'm actually we're gonna talk about your token later, but I wanna pinpoint something though that you mentioned that a lot of people here need to pay attention to. A lot of people here are crypto artists, so they're gonna be inspired by the fact that you're able to essentially be a master in more than one discipline, and they really need to pay attention to how you just gave us the like your hero story, like your first piece well, your first song was dope, but you want to revisit it, because like you weren't getting too much traction, but now that you've achieved this level that you're at now, you want to revisit it, which is awesome, and the fact that you discovered a muse in Angie, like she's able to communicate a ton of feelings, colors, and vibes vocally, while you're producing the backtrack in addition to other things too, is something that's commendable, essentially what I'm saying is that it takes a lot as an artist, it's okay to revisit, or it's okay to look at certain things and want to tweak them, refine them. And it's also okay to like deal with things that are serendipitous, where it's like someone was a flake and they lost out on a huge opportunity with working with you, but now you found someone who's incredible in Angie, which I was actually going to touch on. I mean, like, not that, I mean, I brought up Lana Del Rey, but really I feel like Angie is a stronger vocalist, so you could tell her that, by the way, if she'll ever listen to this, you could let her know that she has another fan in me. But there's like as a producer though, like in addition to being an artist, I'm not just going to limit you to that title, but as a producer though, it's really hard to be a solid mastermind, and put all these pieces together. What's your typical workflow like? Like, what's like a day where like you're creating and that's the only focus? Like, what's your day like?
So you're saying what's the day look like if I'm only creating?
Yeah. Like, what's a workflow where it's like, all right, from top to bottom, like morning, afternoon, and evening. What's your workflow like?
Yeah, I mean, I'll tell you, I'll be transparent. I give you an instant, where it was like 3 years ago, and then where it is today. So 3 years ago, it was two things. This was the only workflow like I had, and this is when I was a full-time entrepreneur or producer at this time. Literally, get up, do whatever I had to do. I would prioritize just only making beats, like. And I don't know if this was the best thing, but this is what I was doing. I was just making beats. So every day I use FL Studios, make beats. And then, and then I would have time for some enjoyment. But then I would like heavily network. And this was back when I was just in New York City. So I was going to like meetup groups. I was just like out in Union Square, like these rap competitions, which wasn't really nothing.
Oh, I was there. I
was
used to go out there a lot, by the way, just so you know.
Some TMJ events. I was like at a lot of things, and I was bumping into a lot of different people. A lot of people who said they were this, but they weren't. And then I would do that again. And I would do that again. I'd be defeated some days, and oh, you was there? All right. As cruiser, you have to be a master because obviously it's so saturated, and a lot of people.
Mr. Wong, how you doing?
And I'm still even,
Hold
Not bad, man. Not bad. How can I help? Yes, I can. 1 second.
Okay.
Sorry about that. We had an overzealous member hop into the voice channel, but it's cool. Please continue your thought. I was pretty captivated by what you were talking about.
Okay, dope. So it was just that was my workflow. And then even prior to that, when I was working a full-time job, like I was working a corporate job, suit and tie, and I was calling myself a producer at the same time. And I remember I would talk to people at the office and be like, yo, I ain't gonna be here for too long. You know, I'm also a producer, and I'm like, oh, let me hear some beats, you know, stuff like that. And that was probably the most hardest times of my life, because I would wake up at 7 a.m., you know, do the corporate job, then leave around like 8 or 9. That's just like the normal New York City type of vibe. And then I would go try to make beats. I would prioritize making beats. I would make some beats. Or I would say I'm going to make beats after work, and then I would fall asleep. You know, I would go eat something, fall asleep. I would try to go to the gym, all these different things. And then I would like network. Some nights that, you know, they had networking events on Thursday and Friday or Wednesday, I would be out, bro, like till 3 in the morning, then go to sleep. So that was like a super hard grind, and I wasn't getting better. You know, I thought I was getting better at producing and making beats, but you know, I wasn't, to be honest with you. But I was getting good at networking, and I think it's like kind of like I don't know what the rule is, but it's just a process of eliminate, or I don't know, it's some type of rule where you just keep doing as much stuff, or you just keep moving around as much as possible. You're eventually going to run into something or some situation or some opportunity. So if I fast forward, the biggest thing for me in my career was when I quit my corporate job, and I said, you know, I need to do music full time. And to do that in New York City is kind of, I feel like was kind of crazy, but it was like the best time of my life. Like that was the perfect thing for me to see my account go from whatever it was to like kind of negative and like a little bit super negative. And, you know, me just keep telling myself like, oh, this is an investment. This is an investment. This is good debt. This is good debt to have. And then I ran into like the perfect person. It was kind of crazy. His name is Rami Afuni. This guy was the one he was responsible for this hit record that Kaiser did. It's called Hideaways. It's a really dope record, or like a dance record. And at the time, I didn't think of him as much of anything, because he kind of just looked goofy, until he showed me like who he was working with and everything. And that just opened up doors to, which was Teflon Sega, St. John, and all these other people. But my account was still zero. So I think that when I moved to Sweden, that's when like the workflow and my day had to be like super like, yo, let's go. So it turned into like, in New York, I didn't have to be a producer. I was a beat maker. There was no way I could be a producer because I was at a full-time job. So how could I have time to be in the studio and learn how to mix, master, engineer, then also make a production, and then also, you know, record vocals and then help songwrite with songwriters? Like there was no way for me to be able to do that, because I missed out on that part of my life when I was in college. I didn't get to go to school for music. So it was when I moved to Sweden, that's when like the groundwork started. I was working with like artists who were super new, people who were just like, oh, I just want to try out music. And it's not good for it. I mean, obviously that wasn't good for me like career wise, because it's like I can't put out any music with people who are just playing around and dabbling with music. But what I was able to use it for was like school, essentially. I use that as like my training. So I was afforded to make a lot of mistakes in these sessions, because, you know, they were new too. They was just trying it out. So I was like, all right, you know, I'm going to learn how to record music properly, or I'm going to learn how to mix and master, you know, vocals and shit like that, or all these different things. So it was like, wake up, do some research. Also had to like look for ways to make money without having a full-time job. And then, yeah, try to find people to do sessions with, then just be in the studio, personal time, or, you know, family time. And then keep doing that, man. And I network so much on Instagram. Like that's my biggest source of like networking. It's just like always on Instagram, doing skeleton searches through Instagram, finding new artists to work with. And it was simply like that. And I got so good. At, I'm not the best producer, but I'm saying I got so good at what I think I can do well, which is being an all around producer. I can really call myself a producer today. Like before I was a beat maker, but with like this practice and this routine from making beats, doing these trial sessions, then reaching out to new artists, and then, yeah, you know, reaching out to more people and stuff like that, I was able to become a producer. So that's what the workflow looks like. And then currently today, like for me, it's like, you know, allocating time to like come up with like creative ideas. that is not only just like creative ways to make music, but also like creative ways to communicate music and distribute music. And then now I'm a little bit more so on the business side of things, you know, with my collective that I have and things like that. So I allocate time towards that. Things I need to make time for is, you know, still like practicing and doing practicing piano and things like that. But I would say, man, today the workflow is good. I like it. I know what I need to allocate more time to, which is practice. And obviously, when you don't have anything going on, it's easier to be in practice mode. But this like current pandemic is like the perfect. Sorry, it's not perfect. This is a horrible situation, but it provided the opportunities as well, which is like being able to just sit down somewhere, not being able to leave as much, and then work on those things that you said that you couldn't get to. Like last year was like that was probably one of the most busiest times because I got to do my first like American tour. So I was on tour with this artist named B Miller and Kahlo, and that would open up my eyes to like, oh wow, like you really need to tighten up like your time management skills, because when you're on tour for 2 months or 3 months, you still need to make time for like making beats or producing, scheduling sessions, you know, on those dead days for tour. But yeah, bro, that's sorry, but that's kind of like, yeah, that's the schedule. That's like my workflow right now.
Oh no, don't be sorry. You didn't have to censor yourself. That was all gold. If anything, we wanted to hear even more about this particular thing. But
Okay, yes.
well, actually, I'll let me just say this though, that there are many aspiring artists in the whale community. So it's really dope that you gave like this really serious insight into how difficult it can be out there, how much you may have to risk, or the pitfalls that may exist if you're attempting to risk something in order to achieve what you want. Like you really want to achieve your dream. There are certain things that may happen, you know, you may incur some debt, you may like things may not be clicking. You need to be a little bit headstrong, but in a positive way. You know, the stubbornness can open up some doors for you on like a platform like Instagram, like you said. um you need to be able to try things in order to get some things to work. You know, I'm not a huge fan of like throwing spaghetti up against the wall and seeing what sticks, but more so you can be calculated. You can throw a softer noodle than a harder noodle against the wall because you know it may stick. You know, like
Yeah.
that thing, like that you can make intelligent movements in order to achieve what you need to. And you also mentioned something in terms of like sometimes you may have to work on one thing because another thing is already strengthened. So like when you were questioning whether or not you were a strong producer, but you started making inroads in terms of connecting with people, you know, and networking, right? That's like your right arm, or like your right hand is like you working that out in the gym all the time, but your left arm, the networking arm, wasn't as strong, so you need to start curling iron with that one, you know, to strengthen it up so your body could be complete, your body of work can be complete. So I admired that too, that you dug into that, because a lot of people they just jump from point A to like point Z, as opposed to knowing that there's a ton of different things within the alphabet that you need to hit. You know, each point needs to be explored, you know, and expanded upon when you can. So um I really like that, right? But now I'm gonna cater to the crowd. We're gonna shift gears a little bit. I'm gonna ask you a question, and then while you think about it, I'm gonna want you to refresh your screen so we can look at you again. We still have good audio, but I just want you to think about this. We want to know, how did you stumble upon cryptocurrency though, and why you think about that? You can mess around with your video.
Oh, you still can't see me? Okay.
No, it's cool. It cut out just briefly, but the audio is perfect. We hear you perfectly.
Okay, so audio's perfect, but can you see me now or no?
Not yet. May need to tweak something again.
Let me tweak something. Let me see. Oh, let me probably reshare my screen.
And I'll talk a little while you do that though. So,
Yeah.
I mean, it's crazy how people find themselves within the crypto art space. We all got incredible stories. We share them personally. Sometimes we don't share them, but it's just funny how we all kind of came together. And you mentioned how awesome. I mean, like what the effects of the coronavirus were bad. It's a bad subject, but I think I kind of understood what you meant. Like it kind of offered a chance for everything to slow down. You could find a new sanctuary and you can build from that, And as an artist, as an artist, it's like super valuable. Oh, your screen's back up. Boom, there you go. We see you.
So you said, how do I get into social currency or cryptocurrency?
How did you first get into crypto? Period.
Crypto. Yeah. So ironically enough, man, my friend, he was watching me on Twitter. And he was my friend back in high school, and we lost touch, but he always followed me on Twitter. And he kept telling me about all this stuff. He's like, "Are you signed?" I was like, "No." He's like, "Did you see this article about like trying to own your rights or like all these other things?" And like, man, there's some people doing some cool shit here. There's this guy Alex. You should talk to him. You can make your own token. Say, talk to these people that roll. I was like, bro, I don't really have time for this, man. And then, I was like, man, I don't have time. And he sends me like crazy amounts of articles, and I was just like, yeah, it's cool. But then and what I also do around like 2:33 p.m. Here in Sweden, which is like like 9:30 over there in the States, is I do like a little bit of day trading, like just for fun. It makes a little bit of money here and there. So then that's what I think that actually piqued my interest, was a combination of my friend Jalil telling me about cryptocurrency and everything, and then I was day trading, so I was like, all right, man, let me dabble into. So I started reading these articles that he sent me, and he said, reach out to this guy Alex. I reach out to Alex, don't really know who he is, but he's like, man, this guy's social token is doing pretty well, man. He's like a really good voice, and he has a song with Ja Rule. I said, all right, cool. Let me hear it. Let me see. And it just seemed interesting. So I talked to him, and then he said, you need to talk to this guy Bradley over at Roll. He's like I guess a creator, a co-creator. So then I reached out to him, and then he was telling me about Roll and social, money and social currency. And I still didn't know too much about it. I've always like looked at documentaries on like cryptocurrency, and I was always interested in the idea of, obviously the general public, the only name that they know is Bitcoin, and that was me as well. Like all I knew was Bitcoin at the time. When I say at the time, I mean like 4 months ago, so not too long ago. And so yeah, this guy Bradley, he was telling me about social tokens, and I was still trying to understand it, and to me, it just was like it felt like a rewards program. And then I, come to find out, that's kind of what it was. That's how mine was set up in the beginning, at least. And it was cool. Like I was putting out, what did I do? I think I was doing the wrong things. I should never did this, but I was putting out like, I think I made like one token, one first for like 1,000 or like maybe 2,000, 2,000 for people to earn, and then I would give out 100 of them, and then like maybe like 10 or 15 minutes later, all 100 of them were gone, because and it was mostly because of the fans of me and Angie. It was like I would give out like alternative versions of like songs on my album, or like demos, or like pictures that weren't released. So I was really like giving away a lot, and I was like, oh, this is cool. I guess I just give away my tokens, first tokens, which I was giving away too many, and then they just claim them, and then yeah, they give it back to me. So I was just thinking, this is cool and all, and it does help out my fans. They really enjoy it. They love the content, but I was just like, I was thinking to myself, but what's kind of the point of this? I didn't really understand the point of it, because I could do something. I could just give them things. I could just say, hey, I'm giving it out to 2 people. And that's when Bradley kind of like, he was like, okay, so the whole point is like working up the value of it, and bringing value to it, and then building a community, and then having like a message, and a brand that you want people to like be a part of. And I was like, yeah, that's what I've been doing with my brand January 1st. Now he was like, well, now you can do that with your first token. And it was still not a real clear concept to me. I was like, okay, people want the token, but it wasn't like, then it started to click in my mind, and maybe it's different for other people, but it was like, no, it's not really about the token, or it's not really about the first, whatever you want to call it, first money. It is really about, people being able to share the success of, me, and me being able to create a community where I can feed off of like people that I would never be able to feed off of in the past, and people that can be able to get some insight from me. So it's, for me, it feels like more than a token or a currency or like a crypto thing. It really feels like a like a club of like people that you want to be in this like good club. And obviously people are going to day trade in and out, but the people who really like believe in this, like this thing that I'm trying to build, that we're trying to build together, they will stay. So that, and that's the brand. So you can look at it as like a social token now, which, I was looking at it before, but now I look at it as like it's a club, it's a membership. It's like the Soho House, or like, being a Mason or whatever. It's just like a social club where people
Whoa,
can.
well, those are two pretty interesting references you just dropped.
My
Because
fault, man.
both of them
Added
were like super exclusive. So
exclusive.
yeah,
Yeah, I want to offer some exclusivity though. That's the thing. I want to offer some exclusivity to my community, and the people that, like, the people who actually listen to this. So people who are interested in me, mostly the people that I call like quote unquote fans, which I don't really think I have fans, but they like me because of the work I do with Angie, and I know that, and I'm not stupid to that. But I really appreciate them because these people don't know, they don't know anything about, well, some of them do, but I know that this is a complicated thing for them to understand. So they spent a lot of time just to get into my to my first generation, exclusive content club, which is like a Telegram group that I created, and you have the whole 300 first. And for them to like actually be like doing everything to understand this, converting like their money to ETH and then ETH to first, and then taking it to MetaMask wallet to the Roll wallet and vice versa, and all these different things. I'm just like, yo, they really, these are not fans. Like this is like my people. Like it's a different thing. So that's why I do think it is some exclusivity there, because anybody who messages me there, I'm answering them. Anybody that says, oh, can you listen to this? I'm listening to it. Or they come to me with like ideas. Like they were telling me about some artists on Twitter who like released these stems, and they were like, yeah, this artist released stems and she wants remixes for the song. I was like, oh, cool. I would never even known this artist, and I never even, yeah, but she has a good following. And I took those stems, I created a remix, I put it on, I put it on. I put it in the group, just in the group. And they hear, and they went crazy over it. So that's my introduction to it. So my introduction to it is from like the social token point of view. I think this thing is crazy. It's dope, man.
if you had to, I guess, offer an elevator pitch, or even like just a really simple and concise way of explaining how First can benefit the average artist in the music industry, how would you explain it? Excuse me.
The music industry, I think most. Let me see. This is yeah, okay. So I would say that this is an outlet for you to broaden your fan base for artists. From a selfish perspective, this is an opportunity for you to broaden your fan base and introduce yourself to a market that probably wouldn't know who you are, and probably they do know who you are. But I would say that things that they care about might be different than things that that your typical fans would care about. I, for some reason, I don't get a lot of good feedback when I'm like posting the stuff that I'm doing with social tokens on Instagram. I don't really get a good feedback on Instagram. I keep it on Twitter, and pretty much, yeah, on Twitter and in my Harrison First group. There's like a disconnect already, where it's like, well, would people in my social token or the crypto space, would they have seen some of this content, or would they have found me on Spotify or whatever the case may be, if I wasn't a part of, or if I wasn't, some type of, or if I didn't have a social token. I think like the elevator pitch is like it opens up your brand to a different audience, for an artist. And it also provides value for the artist in ways that are kind of like unlimited. And to be honest with you, like, man, this is what I'm super excited about. Is like when I mentioned like the Masons or Soho House, I think I was only trying to demonstrate the exclusivity about it and nothing else. Um, the exclusivity for like people who hold, let's just say me, like First, for instance. I'm on tour and I'm in your city and you're holding like a certain amount of First, you just let me know and you're on the guest list, things like that. Or like songs before they're released, or like being a part of like these certain drops that I'm trying to do, like like to a little bit after this, when I do my drop, like my art music exhibition, which is only online, like that's only for the First community, and I'll keep going and learning about new ways to like be innovative and contribute to my community. And when I say my community, I mean like the First community. Um, yeah, man. So that's like the elevator pitch there. It's pretty long, but.
Yeah, wow, man. I mean, so right now in the Stream Text channel, a lot of the members were like, "Wow," when you were talking about if anyone is holding the First token or a couple of them, they have immediate access on the guest list. So
Exactly.
it's kind of cool that you can incentivize and charge up your core audience and allow them to actually like share some of like your coolness, like the cool factor is what a lot of people tend to chase because everyone ain't cool, I mean, we know that, unfortunately. So the fact that you can like spread some of that, they can have some of your sauce and your vibe is I think that's intangible. So it's really dope that you're able to highlight that. And speaking of your community, you have a pretty active group chat, but we want to know if you have a Discord server also.
Oh, that's what I need to do next. And so I think what I'll do is start trying to convert the Telegram community over to Discord, just because I think Discord is a bit cleaner and a little more professional to me.
Yeah, I highly recommend that. Maybe you want to expand into. I mean, like you see how our community is, so you may want to
Yeah.
expand into it. It's a good idea. Last thing before we transition into your artwork and listening to some of your tracks, I want to know this. So, like, you have January 1st. It's the fashion arm of your coin. But I'm curious as to whether or not will you make this. Actually, in what ways will you make like your style available? Like I said, like coolness. We watch the videos. You have a really like strong look. Like your style is really dope. And I'm
Mhm.
pretty sure that your fans are gonna want to adopt that. They want to take pointers from you. So how will you be able to offer actual merch, to your fans?
Mhm. That's a good point. So right now, like to go back to that exclusivity factor is that January 1st is the pretty much the collective, the music collective. So it's like whatever directors, music people, everything. And then January is just strictly, the clothes. So we have hoodies, jackets, leather jackets, and then we kept that for members only. So we did want to keep that exclusivity because we want people who are wearing anything January, we want them to like kind of uphold the brand, which is like, respect, creativity, innovation, confidence in who you are. Doesn't like even if you don't have style, like having confidence in the fact that you don't have style. So all those types of things like that, like I wanted to kind of uphold that. So for instance, I think what did I do like 2 days ago? Um, 2 days ago, I did some type of contest in my Telegram group, and then there was one. I forgot her name. She's super active, really cool girl, but she got it right. And I was like, okay, perfect. I'm gonna ship you over, one of the January hoodies that we wear. So it's just like certain people get it at the moment, but soon, I do want to do like, maybe I do have some things available for mass consumption or whatever the case may be, or just to like a broader audience. But right now, I would keep it like now. I feel like it's cool if I just keep it for like people in the First community. I feel like that might be a good route to go, because those are the people who care about me, so I care about them.
Mm, I like that. I like that. All right. So we're gonna shift gears again. Um, I would like for you to actually walk us over to your live art auction. Do me a favor, pull up the website you shared. Yeah. Can you talk a little bit about this, or actually talk a lot about this if you want to? Give us some
I'm
detail.
a lot about this. Is it still being shared?
Yeah, you had it up, but now you're back at the password screen.
All right, but okay, nobody can see my password. So let me just click back. So pretty much this online art exhibition, this is kind of like super close to my heart and dear to my heart because it first started last year in 2009 in Malmo, Sweden, where I actually did a physical form of this art exhibition, which was dedicated to my mom. And the exhibition was like, I would say one of a kind, but it wasn't. I wish I could have done it on a larger scale, but we did it at a, what was available for us at the time. So the idea came from, I wanted to see a new way that I could not distribute music, but you know, have music connect with people, or a different way to release music. I remember that time when Beyonce put out her album, and it was like a full video movie album, like, and it was a surprise album. Like everybody started going. Now that is the adopted way to release music, as a surprise. People will let you know 2 days in advance. So I was like, okay, I want to try to do something innovative as well. So I partnered up with this artist named Annie. She's a super dope painter, in Malmo, Sweden. And I presented the idea to her of me providing 5 different songs for like an EP, and I would love for her to create a painting to each of the songs while she's listening to it. So she would listen to, the first song on the EP. She's listening to them on headphones, and then she's curating a piece to the music that she's listening to. It could take her like a day or 2 or 3 days or a week or a month to do one painting, but that song was the song that she created it too, and she would do that for each song on the EP. That was the concept, music and art. But the cool part was the way that we displayed it in the art gallery, and that's where Spotify has this new. They have this. It's not even new, but they had it out for like a year or two, maybe even 3 years. But a lot of people still don't know about it. It's like a QR code feature in Spotify, and you can take a picture. Obviously, it's not, you can't use your phone yet, like your regular camera, but you have to use their scanner within Spotify. So what we did is we printed out the code under, and we put it under each painting in the gallery, and we had everybody come to the exhibition. It was about 100, 150 people that came, and they would scan the code with their phone. They would listen to the music in their headphones while watching the painting. So they would use 2 of their senses, right? They would look at the painting, visually, but then they would also listen to the music while they're looking at it. So they can kind of get into the mind of the painter and kind of see, I wonder what she was feeling or what she was thinking when she was listening to this music and then making this painting. And it was a cool concept. I even actually pitched it to Spotify to see if they wanted to sponsor, because like, oh, we're promoting you, your scan code thing, but they didn't care because I think at the time they were really, really keen on like pushing this podcast, and now you can see
Yeah,
that they're really good in the
that's true.
podcast. Um, so that was the idea of the exhibition. It's called Wilma. Wish I lived miles away. And each song, the first song is called Wish. The second song is called I, lived miles away. Uh, and that was it's kind of like a message, to her or about her. So we did that, extremely successful, sold some paintings there. Uh, but then I was like, man, I want to do something that kind of interesting, to outside of just like releasing demos to my audience or my community, or doing remixes. So I said, let me put this online and see if the experience is not going to be absolutely the same. But if you do this on your laptop, and you really like kind of put yourself in a space where you can kind of like, if you have time, like 20 minutes out of your day to really just kind of like focus on it, it's such a dope experience where you're listening to the music and then you're watching the painting, or the digital version of the painting. and it kind of just creates a vibe, man. I wanted to see if it kind of helps people connect with a painting more, or can it also help people connect with the music more. So that is the premise of it. It's exclusive for all first holders. You only need to hold 300 first, and join my first exclusive content group. I think the link is on my Twitter, or maybe we could put the link somewhere here. But it's
Oh
super
yeah,
simple.
yeah. I posted it twice actually. They're eager to check this out, by the way.
Okay, yeah. But yeah, I'll be posting the link, within the group, first exclusive content group, and then I'll just let everybody know the password. It's kind of hard for me to protect it from, once you have the password, from just sending it out and giving the password to other people. But to be honest with you, I don't care that much. I just want people to kind of like, kind of jam with it, man, and see how they feel from it. Um, but yeah, man, that's the premise of it. Also, you can go on, you can click the buy print link. I think each of them, each painting, I think it's about four of the paintings. They have three each that are available. So if you guys do want them, it's yeah, the paintings are super dope. I mean, it's actual the printouts are good. It's like 30 by 40, like heavy paper, really nice. So yeah, man, that's the exhibition. I think the biggest thing is like people just going and interacting with it online. I think that could be the coolest part for people.
Yeah, that's awesome. So I just asked the community if they have any final questions for you before we transition into, I believe, one of the dopest visuals for your tracks. Where I'm gonna screen share mine. I'm gonna migrate everyone over to watch it and listen. But just want to make sure if we have any more questions left, that we get them out to you. Just wait in 1 second. All right. Cool. Okay. So everyone, please click on my stream now. I'll give you a chance before I start and play the music.
Oh yeah, that's the one. How did you know I produced this? How did you? Because it's under my old name.
Dude, I'm a professional. Have you not heard? No, I'm kidding. But yeah, man, I mean, dude, I like it. So it's like, why not take the time to figure it out? I mean, I have like a legit playlist of like your stuff that I like. Sonically, like you tap into things that I really enjoy listening to. So,
Thanks, man.
yeah. So, all right, let me just wait until everybody still migrates over. We have about 17 people. Give people a chance. All right, awesome. All right, we got a solid number here, so I'm gonna press play. But would you like to introduce the track? It's Teflon Sega and Beretta Lake. But if you want to introduce it to everybody,
Yeah.
you can go right ahead.
This song is, it's called Beretta Lake. It's, Teflon Sega with St. John. It's produced by myself, as well as St. John's producer Fallen, and then my bro Voila.
That's what's up.
Drinking the night, but I swear I've been sober. We ain't talked in a minute, but I'ma head over. like I'm feeling drunk. Isn't you out if I'm giving up? Hey. You tell me why the fuck are you giving up? Hey. Like I ain't giving up. Fucking my heart still in it. My heart still in it. She still got my back, she my dog till the end. And none of y'all business. She loves for the fakes, God for the sinners. Carry on for the dinners. We can't go back from start to finish. Thank God for beginning. You too pain. Way too much pain. I know that.
Wow, that was awesome. Yeah, that was
That's a vibe, man.
all right, y'all. Well, on behalf of the whale community, I would like to say thank you very much for coming through, Harrison. We appreciated you making this afternoon super dope. You know, dropped a lot of gems and jewels, and everyone in the channel is also saying thank you very much, man. So yeah, hey, feel free, like, not now that you're here, you're always welcome in the Discord server. We have tons of events. You know, I don't know if you play poker, but you can learn to play poker with us on Sunday at 9 a.m. Eastern time. We also have trivia night on Friday, hosted by me. We have this awesome game called the Marble Game. That's on Saturdays. Oh, and by the way, Sunday, that poker game is hosted by GGN as well. And we also have another live art session with Katie Arrington coming up on Friday. And we also have some cool things coming on Saturday too, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, we have the calendar in our Stream Text channel. You can check it out. And like I said, man, you're always welcome. So thank you very much. And yeah, bro.
Thank you guys, man. And I'll be talking to you soon.
Word.